That's not a solution.
What's not a solution?
Playing something
if you
take
can.
back out.
Yeah, sometimes, Connor, you got to do a little effort. You got to put in a little elbow grease.
Do some Google searches.
Oh, dude, it's the worst. I hate Google. And then it's like always like, I have this very specific issue that some people have had somewhat similar issues, but because I've had it and they haven't, it's just going to be a completely different thing. And,
But then you get those lucky times where they are just, exactly what you needed.
Yeah. But more than often it's, oh, hey, this is your problem. And then you have to do something that is completely like, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. Like, what does this mean? Running it as an administrator. What? What does that mean?
You are the administrator. I never got that. It was like, yeah, you have to run this as administrator.
You're basically
it's not a school.
You're basically just telling the computer to do what you want.
Yeah. Just do it already.
Just do it. Anyways, do people even like that meme anymore? Probably not, right?
I have not heard it being used in years.
Long time. Oh, I've definitely heard it more recently.
Oh, really?
Not like recent, but like not years.
Don't let your memes be memes. Yeah, I remember that one.
That was backwards. Well, no, it wasn't backwards. Don't let your dreams be memes.
I remember that one, but then I saw people saying, "Don't let your memes be memes." I follow different crowds than you, Tavin.
Yeah, very. We've discussed this many a time. You got a weird circle. The algorithm works for you in a very strange way.
It's a very weird way.
It's a very strange way. Connor, let's drop some sense on him. Yeah. So welcome back, everybody, to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 41, here on youtube.com/2pennygames, or podcast services, the popular ones at least, of your choice, including SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're out here. We come to you every week, Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time. Where was I going with this? Fuck, I totally blanked.
Sometimes you say this stuff all the time and you just forget what you're supposed to say. I forgot.
What am I doing? Anyways, we come to you every week, Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, to bring you the new news in the video game industry, at least the things we feel like as we're talking about. But who are we? I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hi to the people, Connor.
Hey.
And every week we come to you with two topics that we have each selected, our 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. This week, Connor, Activision is doing some fuck shit.
A couple stories come out from Activision's end.
They're
not
doing
good ones.
Some fuck shit. So, I'm going to start it off with my first penny of the day. Crash is fucking dead, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
It's dead.
It's been sucked into the Activision void.
They've
along
killed
with the others.
So, basically, if you don't know, if you didn't hear, they've killed the Crash 4 development studio, for fucking Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah.
Place, anyways. So, we're gonna pull an article here from VideoGameChronicle.com by Tom Ivan. Crash 4 studio, Toys for Bob, is officially supporting Warzone development Warzone development amid layoff claims. Toys for Bob has announced it is supporting Call of Duty Warzone development amid claims of layoffs at the Activision-owned studio. The Nevada, California-based developer, which made 2018's Spyro Reignited trilogy and 2020's Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, tweeted to say it's, quote, proud to support development for Season 3 of Call of Duty #Warzone and look forward to more to come. Glad to have you on the project with us, responded Raven Software, which has worked on Warzone with Modern Warfare studio Infinity Ward since the outset of the Battle Royale game's development. The announcement comes amid claims from a former contract character designer at Toys for Bob that the studio was recently hit with a round of layoffs. Nicholas Cole worked on Toys for Bob's recent Spyro and Crash games during over 3 year with the company before departing in January 2021, according to his LinkedIn profile. Quote, it's the end of an era, but I wish my former coworkers still with TFB all the best with what's ahead, he wrote in response to the studio's Warzone announcement. Quote, I'm very glad it's not a total shuttering, he also commented, adding, everyone I interfaced with and worked along was let go. Connor, we are going to pull another article from Kotaku real quick by Zach Zweisen, who is listing every current Activision studio that is working on Call of Duty. So, you got your big three hitters at first. Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer. They are taking turns developing Call of Duty games. They've been doing this for the last decade. Mm-hmm. No surprise there. But in their portfolio of support studios for Call of Duty is Toys for Bob now, Raven Software, which has supported COD since 2010. Activision Shanghai worked on Call of Duty Online. Demonware does server support for Call of Duty. Former Transformers dev High Moon Studios helps support Call of Duty. High Moon Studios, great studio. Great Transformer games they made. Great character action games. Beanox has been working on Call of Duty since Black Ops 3. So basically, if you work at Activision, you're going to work on either Call of Duty or fucking Overwatch. Because if you don't remember, we covered it on this show a few months ago. They shuttered the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater guys out in support of the Overwatch development for character skins or whatever the fuck.
It was character skins specifically. And I remember, I think a chunk of people left hearing that news, if I remember correctly. But despite that, it's just Activision has these properties that they make a lot of money off of. So they don't want to really take any chances, even with successful franchises, if it means they can just beef up their current existing working IPs, like Overwatch and Call of Duty. I remember back when I was in high school, actually middle school, going that far back, I always hated Call of Duty, but I bought them. I was one of those guys that was like, Call of Duty's such a generic, boring game. It comes out every year. It's unimaginative.
Yeah,
People just stop buying it.
Yeah, I put 40 hours into it. What about it?
Yeah, I put 40 hours into it. Oh, this is a new zombie map? Okay, I'll play that. And at the time, with my limited knowledge of how the gaming world works, I thought that was the worst thing going on in video games. That time's passed, thankfully, so I'm not thinking about, man, Call of Duty is ruining the franchise.
Now it's the second worst thing to happen in video games.
And now it is! It's like, it's come full circle. I'm like, wow. They were shitty back then, for maybe not the best reasons on my part, but now they're just doing shit like this, which is very aggravating. I hate it when studios are delegated just to doing things like this with not working on these new games that people love. Because people loved Crash Bandicoot. People loved Spyro.
Crash 4 broke records, not like crazy records, but like series records. Like I think it was like one of the better selling Crash Bandicoot games and fastest selling Crash Bandicoot, and it was really, really well reviewed. People love Crash 4.
Yeah.
The Reignited trilogy was met with rave reviews. The Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy was out of this world popular when it popped. What else did that studio do recently? Crash Team Racing, which kind of came and went, but
people liked it at the time.
You had a base. Like these games weren't like you weren't losing money on these games.
No.
And it's so sad to see something like as iconic as Crash Bandicoot and something like a titan in the industry be killed for fucking more Call of Duty. Like,
I think that people play, especially Warzone.
Oh, sure, and they're quality games. Yeah, like, objectively.
No one's like, oh man, I can't wait for that next Call of Duty game. It's going to be crazy. It has its base, a big base.
Especially now that it doesn't go away with Warzone.
No, it always will be in the public eye. Like people are always playing that game.
It's not like it used to be, where ever since they started doing yearly releases, where it was like big pop in October, November, played through until probably January, February, and then once the regular new game cycle began again, we moved on and didn't hear peep about Call of Duty until July with announcement trailers, and then and then we just went into that cycle. But like, this is fucking, come on! Like every fucking week, there's a new thing in Warzone happening, which is cool for people who like Warzone. And this is, I'm happy that they get all that they want with that. And if you like Call of Duty, please continue liking Call of Duty. But it's unfortunate that we just can't have both, and there's no reason why we can't have both other than greed.
Yeah.
And it's just to increase support for Warzone so that they can line their pockets with more microtransaction dollars that they're using to manipulate kids and people with gambling problems to fucking spend a ridiculous amount of money on them. Mm-hmm. It's gross. It's fucking gross.
And it's not going away anytime soon because it's worked for them for years. It's God knows how long it's going to last.
Oh,
they're not slowing down.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been years and we've been predicting, like, the industry has been predicting Call of Duty's failure, and it's still around kicking and still, going mostly pretty strong. Biggest selling game of every year, but it's just like...
Do something, let studios make new games.
I mean, I don't think it's a secret to anybody, Call of Duty is not the titan it used to be, at least not culturally. Like, it's not the thing that, like, is pushing the industry forward anymore.
Still makes tons of money, but
still makes tons of money, super popular, and they're really good games objectively. Even though you and I aren't the biggest fans anymore, but it's just like, God, like, for what? Like, what reason are we doing this? Like, what is even the point of having all of these studios and doing all these cool things? But Connor, we want to talk about what's the point. We need to talk about this Activision CEO reducing his pay cut, but taking home major bonuses at the end of the year. So, we're going to pull from Eurogamer by Wesley Yinpool. Activision Blizzard boss Bobby Kotick takes a 50% pay cut, but could still earn millions in bonuses. Activision Blizzard boss Bobby Kotick has accepted a 50% pay cut to his base salary, but could still earn millions of dollars in bonuses. A recent investor filing revealed Kotick has extended his employment agreement to the 31st of March, 2023, but with a significant base salary pay cut. Kotick was earning $1.75 million a year from his base salary. He will now earn $875,000 a year. Jesus Christ. Kotick has also agreed to reduce his target annual bonus by 50%, which is a potential reduction of $1.75 million for each of the 2021 and 2022 fiscal years. However, under new agreement, Kotick can still earn annual bonuses up to 200% of his base salary, assuming he meets certain targets. That's a potential $1.75 million on top of the $875,000 a year. Last month, Kotick was criticized by CTW, an investment company that, quote, holds directors accountable for irresponsible and unethical corporate behavior and excessive executive pay, over the amount he had earned. CTW acclaimed Kotick is set to earn nearly $200 million in a stock bonus, although Activision has said the total amount has yet to be decided. In the filing, Activision Blizzard's board said Kotick's new pay packet, quote, reflects shareholder feedback, incorporates market best practices, and continues to directly connect pay to performance. The board also stressed that under Kotick, Activision Blizzard market capitalization has increased from less than $10 million to over $70 billion, with an 8,100% increase in shareholder return between 2000 and 2020. The company recently crowed that cash cow Call of Duty Warzone has over 100 million players, and the Call of Duty series has sold over 400 million copies. Activision Blizzard's better-than-expected 2020 revenue was $8.09 billion, up from $6.49 billion for 2019. But in March, Activision Blizzard warned staff of impending layoffs across its offices in Europe, namely Toys for Bob. The company behind Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush is closing all its publishing offices in Europe as part of a organization that will see the businesses centralized within one hub in the UK to work on fucking Warzone. Some staff, including those in the UK, have been told their jobs are now at risk and could face redundancy after a consultation period. These layoffs are said to affect Activision Blizzard's publishing operation, not its development, live operations and customer support items. Candy Crush maker King's European offices are said to be unaffected. So if you make money, you're fine.
Yeah.
Quote, players are increasingly choosing to connect with our games digitally, Activision Blizzard said in a statement. Quote, we have shared plans with our teams in Europe for how we would evolve as an organization, adapting to this change to serve our players and best positioning the region for future growth. We will be taking extensive steps to support all employees and ease the transition for those of our colleagues who might be impacted by these proposed changes. The news comes after Activision Blizzard announced layoffs in the U.S. tied to live events and esports. In the U.S., the affected workers will receive a minimum of 90 days severance and health benefits for a year, Bloomberg said, as well as, quote, job transition support and a $200 gift card for Battle.net.
Dude, I've been waiting. To get my gift card for Battle.net.
Woo! Last month, Activision Blizzard said it expects to hire 3,000 people in 2021, mostly in production and development. Battle.net. What are we gonna buy, Activision, on Battle.net, other than fucking Overwatch and Call of Duty?
Well, if you don't have those games, you can now have them with our $200 Battle.net
Warzone
gift card.
is free to play. You're just
Overwatch
making me
isn't.
buy your fucking skins and shit.
Do you want do you want
No,
loot boxes?
I don't want any of it.
Well, loot boxes are what's being, that's what other developers are working on now.
Oh yeah, EA got fucked by the loot boxes, Connor. So now we'll just buy whatever you want straight out of pocket. Great. Fuck this, man.
At least on the bright side of this, it is prioritizing less of you're the CEO, so you get over $1 million a year, rather than compared to actually doing a job.
He gets a
well done.
200% annual salary bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah,
He makes his salary 3 times over in the last month.
He could fail. That's I guess the bright side, even though it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. I wonder why they can't do things that could be more beneficial to the workers rather than the CEO, though. Why can't it be easier for workers to get bonuses?
Why can't they?
I don't know.
Who knows? If only there was a solution to this. If only we could look at real world examples and find some. Oh, fucking Christ. Anyways,
it's kind of hard to say a lot about this, other than it's just a donut thrown to the executives working on Activision.
But he's getting a $1.75 million bonus while there's layoffs across the company. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of people are getting kicked out of their jobs. And sorry, not sorry.
Well,
have fun.
Money.
90 days severance pay, and here's some Battle.net money. Oh, great! I'm overjoyed.
You could have given him just $200 straight up. That would have been nicer.
That would have been way better.
Yeah, I'd be like,
I can do way more with $200 straight up than I can do with Battle.net.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But you know what, Connor? It doesn't even fucking end there. That was your first penny, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. That was your penny.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah. But we're going to cut straight to your second penny right here. Connor, it's not the only shitty little CEO piece of garbage who's making money this year. That's right. CD Projekt Red back in the news again today.
Hey, this isn't about CEOs. This is managers.
No, it's CEO.
And managers.
Okay. Okay. So we're pulling an article from Bloomberg by the one, the only Jason Schreier. Cyberpunk managers still win big bonuses after shoddy game launch. Cyberpunk 2077 was the video game industry's biggest flop of 2020. I don't know about that. Its myriad of glitches fueled the internet's meme machine, and Sony Corporation still refuses to sell the game through its online store. Yet, the executives who run the Polish studio that made the game will nonetheless receive millions of dollars in bonuses this year. The rest of the staff will also get bonuses, but some of them expected bigger ones, and may have gotten more if the game's release had been delayed until it was ready, as they asked. If developers had more time to work out the kinks and bugs, then CD Projekt SA would likely have sold more games, leading to higher profit. Instead, management pushed the game out anyway. Pay disparities between executives and their employees is a perennial issue throughout the business world, made more urgent by the coronavirus pandemic, during which millions of people lost their jobs. The typical CEO among the 1,000 biggest publicly traded companies in the U.S. receives 144 times more than their median employee, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. The games industry has been a common battleground on this topic. For example, Activision Blizzard shareholders have been agitating for reductions in the CEO's pay since at least early last year. And this week, the company's apparently bent to those pressures when it said Bobby Kotick, we just talked about this is a 50% cut. Thanks to a lot of marketing hype, Cyberpunk, we don't need to know what Cyberpunk is. Thanks to a lot of marketing hype, Cyberpunk sold 13 million copies in the first 10 days after its December launch. Okay, now, we did some numbers. I'm going to take a pause. We did some number crunching here. We compared Cyberpunk 2077 to PS4 games, PS4 exclusive games over the last year. 13 million in its first 10 days is more than Uncharted 4 did. Mm-hmm. Okay. two different games, two different platform, or one's on one platform rather, the other is on multiple, so probably not the fairest comparison. So, we compared it to Call of Duty. Call of Duty sells so much, it's a little hard to compare. It's like 30 million copies every year or some shit. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, we compared it to a game that Cyberpunk 2077 just ripped off and said it was innovative when it wasn't. Fallout 4. Fallout 4 sold, what was the number, Connor? It was like 12 million?
13 million.
13 million lifetime?
Yeah,
lifetime.
All time, yes.
So Jason Schreier, sir, I respect your work. You're a great writer. You do a lot of great work over there at Bloomberg, and your work at Kotaku, prior to that was phenomenal. Sir, how is 13 million copies in 10 days a flop?
Because it wasn't as much as they thought it would be. Which I don't think is a good comparison of when you're trying to, decide whether something's a flop or
It was
not.
below expectations. What the fuck were your expectations? Call of Duty fails to meet expectations every year. It sells 30 million copies. Anyways. I hate how we talk about AAA video game success in this industry. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, because it didn't make as much money.
Cyberpunk 2077 made its money back before the game came out.
I remember that. We covered that.
Yeah. Alright. So, sold 13 million copies in the first 10 days after its December launch, but that was less than analysts were expecting. Cyberpunk's score on Metacritic, a review aggregation site, was a paltry 57 out of 100 for a maligned PlayStation 4 version. Okay, you're right there. That's right. All the facts. Yeah, the game came out. It was bad. It was a bad game. Didn't work. Nobody could play it.
Unless you had a nice PC working right next to you.
PC, in which case, it was just an okay Fallout game. Wasn't a great one. Wasn't even a good one. It was okay.
But you could have sex in that one. Yeah. Kind of better.
That was one of the few things I was able to do before the crashes got to me, Connor.
You did that?
Oh yeah,
I didn't do that.
Picked up some transsexual prostitute.
Why would you do that, dude? I
Because I
never did that.
could.
I never did that.
I said, well, let's see what happens when I do it, and then I did it, and I was like, I'm on the family room TV right now. This is the family living room TV.
Not Christian.
I should not be doing this.
Not Christian like.
Nobody was home. It was fine. CD Projekt CEO Marcin Iwinski made a public mea culpa about the state of the game. Yet, Iwinski and co-CEO Adam Kaczynski are each slated to receive a bonus of 24 million zloty, or $6.3 million, according to the company's annual report. Adam Badowski, a board member and the director of Cyberpunk 2077, will take home $4.2 million. These bonuses, part of an annual profit-sharing plan, are based on the company's 2020 net earnings, which jumped more than 500%. Let's break down the numbers. Of CD Projekt's annual earnings, 20% is allocated to profit-sharing bonuses, with 10% going to employees and 10% going to the board, according to the company. Some employers told Bloomberg that they will receive profit-sharing bonuses of about $5,000 to about $9,000, while other more senior employees said they will get closer to $15,000 or $20,000. Managers and directors will likely receive much higher bonuses. In a statement, a CD Projekt spokesperson said that the company had allocated a total of $29.8 million to 865 employees for an average of about $34,000 each. Staff also received separate, smaller performance bonuses earlier this year. In contrast, just 5 of CD Projekt's board members received bonuses totaling $28 million. CD Projekt executives did take a financial hit this year. 4 board members own roughly 33% of the company's stock, which has plummeted 57% since Cyberpunk's launch, but they'll also receive more in a year of bonuses than many workers will be paid in a lifetime. When asked on the investor call last week whether it was appropriate for the board to take such hefty bonuses, Kaczynski said that their compensation had always been tied to company profits. Quote, "We earned this money, and the company earned this money, of course. But more net profits, more bonuses," he said. So, well, we have results, we get bonuses, and that's the contract we have. It's worth saying English, not his first language. This comes off probably a lot harder than he meant it to be. But it's still not a good look, bro. The good news is that CD Projekt appears to be re-examining its practices in an attempt to keep staff from departing, a concern that Kaczynski acknowledged on the call. One employee said that this year, the company reevaluated salaries and increased wages for some of the lowest paid positions, such as testing, to align them with video game industry standards. Can you imagine the hell those QA testers went through for that fucking game?
I mean, just every developer that worked on that game was reportedly working like 80 hours a week.
Yeah, but QA testing,
QA
QA testing is like one of the most grueling jobs in the industry. Like, we don't put enough respect on those guys' name. Like, that's a lot of work. Even so, the compensation chasm between them and the studio heads remains vast. Half is going to what? 14 people?
Yeah, that's always how it's worked. You know, executives get more money than the employees, and bonuses
out of
have
an
never been an exception.
895 employees, half of all bonuses is going to maybe less than 20 of them, you know?
This shouldn't be the case, but it's not surprising in any capacity whatsoever.
I just don't see how anybody could defend that.
Well, when you're making that money, you'll pull out all the stops to defend it, because you're going to be rolling in the dough.
Oh, but I need it because my lifestyle is so much more expensive than yours.
What's even worse is that all of this is useless when you consider they have a much higher base pay than anybody else. So they're already getting above and beyond more money than any of the people that are working underneath them, yet they're still also getting the bonuses, despite probably doing a lot less work than those developers. I doubt they put in 80 hours of their life every single week.
Oh, I highly doubt it.
No, yeah.
When's the last time they didn't take a weekend?
Oh, I bet their work hours were like 40 hours a week. You know, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
When you don't really...
Shout out to their secretaries, though, who are keeping them. You know? Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Just gross.
And this thing at the end here about how they're looking at how they're going to try and prevent staff from leaving.
Yeah, that's a story that went around this last week about how CD Projekt Red has quote unquote learned its lesson or whatever. But
that's just kind of
believe it
bullshit.
when I fucking see it, CD Projekt.
We have learned for our lesson, and we will not be trying to work our workers to death so they can stay and make more games for us.
You know what's crazy, Connor? 6 months ago, we never would have even thought about putting CD Projekt Red and Activision in the same sentence.
No. We always thought, like, CD Projekt Red, now that's a good example of a good video game company that treats its workers and customers well.
Well, up until 6 months ago, they were.
Yeah. Once the news stories started
with the exception of all the crunch and all that, because we knew of course that was happening, and it sucks, and they shouldn't do that.
No, but one of the promises they made were that there were going to be big bonuses. Well, these bonuses are not going to the employees as much as it is to the executives and the directors and the managers. And they're not as big as what was thought to happen. No, not even that. Which is a direct result, and Jason Schreier talks about this in his article. It's a direct result because Cyberpunk didn't sell enough. And it didn't sell enough because the game was shit. Because you didn't give them enough time to make the game properly. Mm-hmm. And instead, you crunched the fuck out of them for months so that they could put out a subpar product that wasn't the vision. That reminds me of that movie and based off a real event, Deepwater Horizon. Don't know if you saw that about the oil, the fucking... What do you call the oil? Like, the BP oil spill? Yeah, BP oil spill. Yeah. The BP one or the... The BP one, okay. Yeah. And how that was kind of caused because people who don't work on the rig that ended up causing the oil spill wanted them to just keep on like overworking the rig to where the oil spill happened. It's kind of a situation like that where the executive who doesn't know what's really going on and acts as if though they do and make these big decisions. It's just really pathetic. Companies do this all the time. Just listen to the people who know better. Yeah. That's all it takes. But we got to get it out because we promised shareholders blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah. Connor, moving on to our final topic. My second penny of the day. Konami isn't coming to E3, Connor. No? Feeding on to your belief that E3's dying. I guess, but let's go ahead and read. So they put out a statement on Twitter on the 30th. So what is that, 3 days ago? From when we're recording, 4 days from when you're hearing this. Yeah. Due to timing, we will not be ready to present at E3 this year. We want to reassure fans that we are in deep development on a number of key projects. So please stay tuned for some updates in the coming months. While we are not participating this year, we have great respect for the ESA and know that 2021 will be a great success. We will continue to support the ESA and wish the best to all participants at this year's show. I was looking at some numbers about the Oscars this year. Yeah. Last year's Oscars, something like 28, close to 30 million live viewers. This year, like 9.8 million viewers. Oh, it dropped. It dropped dramatically. Now, that's a little different.
Oscars are movie based.
Yeah.
You know,
Oscars suck and are useless.
Yeah, well, yeah, all of these award shows are suck and useless. And no movies came out this last year, so a little bit different. Video games, on the other hand, our award show with the Game Awards was popping. Mm-hmm. Because video games came out this last year, and were great.
And we played them.
Yeah.
And then they, of course, have announcements, which the Oscars don't.
We played them because we had time to play them.
The Oscars is really for the people who made the movies.
Yeah.
They're the ones who go and eat that nice food.
But when it comes to E3, I see that like the Oscars, where it's a dying relic of an old time. You know, which had its relevancy and its purpose at one point, but now not so much anymore. We just don't need an event show like this anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, all of these publishers, they can do it on their own. And it's the same, it's relatively the same thing. So Konami not showing up, it's not like another case of like, oh, E3 is dying to me, at least. I just think Konami is one of the more irrelevant AAA publishers out there right now.
I would use the term AAA lightly nowadays, considering what they put out in these past couple of years.
I mean, their last big release was fucking Metal Gear Survive, but that's a AAA game.
Technically.
Didn't
feel like it.
So, you know, I don't see this as a sign that, like, E3 is dying or whatever. I think there's plenty of other signs to point to that. However, I do think it's just interesting that they're not even showing up even a little bit. Not even for, like, a reveal trailer or anything. You can't even get a pre-rendered CG thing going on, or you can't even, like, have a title card.
I guess maybe when they're saying they're working on a number of key projects, they don't really have anything to show. Because E3 is a showmanship spectacle. You know?
It is now.
You release your stuff. It's like, look how cool this new stuff that we're going to be bringing to you looks. Yeah. Look at it. Guess Konami has nothing really substantial. I mean, people have expected them to make some kind of announcement on some new game for a while now.
Too many rumors going around.
Yeah.
We're pretty certain something Silent Hill is happening. Something with Silent Hill is happening. I keep seeing, because the algorithm is reaching to me, Connor, weekly, I see these leaks about a Metal Gear Solid remake.
Really?
Weekly. Whether it's the first game, or it's the first trilogy, or if it's like a collection or something, or if the first game remade with a collection of all the others or something, something's happening with Metal Gear Solid. So when they say they got deep development on a number of key projects, I believe it's probably Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid.
That's what they got going for them. I mean, when you think of Konami, that's what they have.
Fucking Contra and Castlevania are jerking off in a corner somewhere, probably.
Castlevania, Netflix, Season 4.
Can't wait. Super excited. It's a great show. Yeah, Season 4. Yeah. It gets weird because Season 1 was so short, and then Season 2 and 3 were actual seasons. God, I can't wait for that to come back. Anyways.
And end.
I'm not ready for that to end. I want it to keep going. I wanted like 5 or 6 seasons. We get 4?
Yeah, I wanted more. That's another conversation.
But okay, cool. Konami not showing up. They're making something neat. Guess what? Everyone else is too, and it's honestly way more interesting anyway. The only reason we care is just because you have the rights to all the fucking franchises we care about. God, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know?
You got this pachinko machine. Keep shelling out.
Did you ever see the remade Metal Gear Solid 3 cutscenes in those pachinko machines?
I never did. Because I knew it was like, it's not going to lead anywhere. I'm not going to get anything from it.
God, they're so beautiful, dude.
But you won't see them in a game.
And especially because we just played Metal Gear Solid 3 over for hype over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, which I forgot to plug at the beginning of the show. Connor, look at me. Hey, you can watch us play video games live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames. I've been playing Returnal all weekend live, and every Tuesday, me and my buddy Phil, who will be on this episode a little later for After the Hype for Uncharted 1. We played it. Hype, a show that we do over on twitch.tv/2pennygames, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time, in which one of us loves a game that the other one has never played. So we play it on stream the whole way through. It's a day-long stream. Come by, say hi. It's a great time. Yeah, this week we played Uncharted. Phil is going to be coming in here after we're done with the show here to give his review of Uncharted 1, Drake's Fortune. That's what
it was called.
That's that. I had to reach. It was because it was either Drake's Fortune, Drake's Deception. Drake's Deception, that's the third one.
Seems like with a game like that, being the first in an entire franchise, they could have just called it Uncharted. That's unique enough.
You would think.
That's all they would need.
You would think.
It's not a PSP title.
No.
Or PSP
Do you know,
title.
back in the day, when they first announced Uncharted, they didn't have a title for it yet. It was just some like weird pre-rendered cutscene of Nathan Drake running around in a baseball tee, and he's running around in the jungle shooting dudes, and then the Naughty Dog logo popped up, and that was it. People called it Dude Raider.
Huh?
Yeah,
that might have been a cool name.
Dude Raider.
Dude Raider. Yeah. Would have been a callback to those '90s games.
I'm much happier with fucking Uncharted.
It's too modern. That's just a single word that you can say, in a normal sentence.
Connor, let's close out the show with what we've been playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've already mentioned what you've been playing.
I have. So, and I want to talk about it because I'm chomping at the bit to talk about it. I've been playing Returnal, Connor. Returnal, new PlayStation exclusive game.
PlayStation 5
PlayStation
exclusive.
5 exclusive
that
game.
You elitist pig can play that other people can't.
Anyways, new game from Housemarque. Games previously known for games like Resogun, Dead Nation, Alien Nation, something else that I can never remember. I can never remember what the fourth game is that they're known for.
Smaller games, in another word.
Smaller games. They're usually known for arcade type shit. Like they were keeping arcade esque games alive, score attack type things. They were keeping those games alive for a very long time until they were like, hey, we're not making any money. We need to make a battle royale or else we're going to close it, or else we're going to have to close our studios. And then PlayStation was like, hey, but if you just make a game for us, how about you just make another game for us? Because they've done PlayStation exclusive games before. You make another game for us, and we'll give you a bunch of money. And they were like, okay. So, Returnal is Housemarque's first real AAA video game. It is a roguelike, just like the likes of Dead Cells or Hades. But it's a third-person shooter game, action game, real fast-paced, real quick on your toes type, which I've never seen. I don't know if roguelikes have ever had this type of gameplay before. To my knowledge, they've always been like 2D or top-down type games.
It's usually what it is.
It's what I feel like. And I feel like this is one of the first times a roguelike has been like AAA. AAA, I mean, it's kind of hard to call Supergiant like an indie developer, but I guess you could with Hades.
Double A game is usually what I think the name is.
Double A, triple I is what I like to think of it as.
Triple I.
Yeah, like you're not quite indie, but you're not like triple A yet. But anyways, Hades was so fucking good. So following Hades, even though it's a different developer and a different game entirely, Returnal has come out. Connor, this is the PlayStation 5's first real game. First real game that has been built for PlayStation 5. You can make an argument for games like
Bugsnax
or Pathless, but those are on PS4. You can make an argument for Demon's Souls, but it's a remake of a game from 2011?
20 earlier than that.
Oh, was it a 2009
2007.
Game? Oh, you're right, because it was an early PS3 game. You're right, you're totally right. So Demon's Souls was that, and also Demon's Souls doesn't take advantage of all of the PS5's little gimmicks like Returnal does. And what I mean by that is specifically all the gimmicks in the controller, which, if you remember when I first talked about my impressions with the PlayStation 5, I was pretty damn positive about all the gimmicks. The controller itself, I'm a little, wishy-washy on. I don't love the form factor of it, but it's a solid controller. But the gimmicks of the controller are where I was like, hey, this is where things are really cool and interesting, and I hope it takes off. Specifically, the adaptive triggers and the whatever they call it, the HD rumble, whatever. The shit that makes the fucking vibrators vibrators.
Oh,
the vibration in the controller really special and cool. For example, Returnal, you crash land on an alien planet. And that's where you start every one of your lives. A roguelike, if you don't know, you didn't listen to the older podcast, or if you don't know anything about Hades, a roguelike is a game where you play, you're getting upgrades, you're getting stronger, all of this, you die, you reset. You lose all your upgrades and all of that. And then, ideally, you're getting incrementally stronger as you go on and you're getting further and further along. But that's not how every game operates. This one is kind of in the middle, where some things you do keep or there seems to be very little that you're keeping, and then there's other things that or most of it you're not keeping. So in this game, it starts out, your character, Celine, is her name. crash lands on this planet where she's getting this distress signal from, and she's like, "What is this distress signal?" And then she crash lands, and that's where your run starts. Is at the beginning of a crash land. Sometimes you start outside of your ship. Sometimes you start inside your ship. If you start inside your ship, you're in a first person view, and it's every time you're in a first person view, it's very PT. And it's
creepy.
It's a little creepy sometimes when you're in your first person view. This game, Connor, it's got a little spooky sometimes.
Wow,
It gets a little spooky sometimes. We'll get into that a little later. But when you climb outside of your, I'm going to talk about what makes Returnal cool first. When you climb outside of your ship, it's raining, and you feel your controller starts vibrating, but it vibrates in a way to where it feels like rain falling on you.
Like small, very, very small tremors.
Little tremors that pop up in different parts of your hand and stuff. So like, it'll show up in my finger, and then my palm, and then in another finger, and a different finger, and then et cetera, like that. And it's very interesting, and it only lasts for a little while. It
stops after a while.
Yeah, like 30 seconds of like vibrating like that, and then it stops. It's just kind of neat that they went through and touched it up like that. And also, I'll say this game must be hell on the DualSense's battery life, because every little fucking thing in this game causes the controller to vibrate. It vibrates for everything. You open a door, vibrate. You come across some enemies, vibrate. Enemies are throwing projectiles at you, vibrate. You're shooting your gun, vibrate. You dash, vibrate. Like, everything sets it off. The rain sets it off. It's cool, and it's mostly used in really, really cool ways that are additive to the experience. Also, for example, every time you die and reset, you see Celine crash her ship again. And there's a shot in this like cutscene of the ship crashing where the ship like moves left to right on the screen, and the way it vibrates in your controller, you can feel the ship moving left to right as if you are the cameraman looking up at the ship crash landing. Kind of neat. Kind of just cool, neat little gimmick thing that I'm appreciative of. But the main thing that most players are going to feel is Housemarque's use of the adaptive triggers. In which I'm going to get more into the gameplay side of Returnal here. So Returnal is a third-person shooter, like I've said before, and you start, so far at least, I've started every run with a pistol. And then as you go on, you'll find like an assault rifle or a shotgun or something, and you have to choose which weapon. You can only hold one weapon, so you're either holding the pistol, you're holding an assault rifle, you're holding a shotgun. I'm sure I'm going to find more weapons later on down the line, or maybe I won't. Who knows? And every weapon has two modes of fire: your primary fire and your alternate fire. To use your primary fire, you pull down on the trigger halfway, the left trigger halfway. And then your right trigger, you just shoot, whatever. If you pull down on the trigger all the way, it activates your alternate fire. And then, in which case you use, and they're mostly one-use fires, so it's like a grenade launcher. And then you have to wait. You have to wait for a cooldown to use it again, or like a lightning gun. There's like a lightning gun for alternate fire, and you use that, and you shoot up a bunch of enemies with some electricity, and then you overheat, and you're waiting for a cooldown, etc. But the way that at first, this was so weird to me because I just kept instinctually pulling down the trigger all the way and using my alt fire by accident and not meaning to. But eventually I adapted to it, and the way that the adaptive trigger pushes back against your finger, you get like a feeling for it. And then now, instinctually, I'm only pulling it halfway. I'm barely even feeling the resistance anymore. It's just, I just pull to the point where my muscle memory knows where the resistance point is. Very cool. Very interesting. Usually, and they have an alternate control scheme that you can just have a button press to switch fire modes or whatever.
Always a smart thing to include.
Always a smart thing to include, especially when you're doing something this, I don't want to say experimental, but,
innovative.
Out of the box,
yeah.
We'll say. But, I mean, this is really cool. I mean, it retracts the need to have another button placement. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like,
pressing right on the D-pad.
Yeah, pressing right on the D-pad or something, yeah. or pressing L1 or something. It's all just tied to that. That's really fucking cool. And it really, really adds to the moment-to-moment experience because it's just every little gimmick that the controller does is just for the idea that hopefully it creates a more immersive game experience. And Housemarque's use of the gimmicks in the DualSense are really, really well executed here. And really, really dope. Now, this isn't the case for all games. I've heard Outriders on PlayStation 5, the way they used the adaptive triggers was they actually got in the way more than they helped. I heard Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War had something similar to that with the sniper rifles. It was just annoying to use or whatever. But here with Returnal, it's really dope. It's really immersive. I really feel like I feel like I'm in there when I'm holding the weapon and I'm switching fire modes, you know? It just adds to it makes it all more instinctual as opposed to mechanical, you know?
Right.
So I'm a big fan of what they're doing in that. On top of that, Returnal is an excellent fucking game.
Gameplay-wise.
Gameplay-wise, excellent.
Yeah.
We'll get to some story, which isn't disappointing. I'll say.
It's not.
Pretty solid so far.
From what I saw from the trailer, it looked like it piques your interest in things that are going to come forward later on.
Yeah. So I'm 5-ish hours deep right now.
It's kind of hard to, well, yeah.
It's all been on stream. So I've all been playing on stream. And the first night I did 3 hours, and the second night I only did 2. I think I did maybe 3.5 the first night. I don't remember. So I'm like 5-ish hours into this game. I've made it past the first world. I'm in the second biome now. Which I'm not gonna toot my horn or anything, but I'm hearing that this game is so difficult for people and they can't even get past the first world, yada yada yada. I did it in the first hour and a half, 2 hours.
Funny you mentioned that, because I did see an article reviewing the game,
yeah.
And the negative was, you have to be good at the game to advance, and that's bad.
I'll say, the game is tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough game. It is not afraid to kick your shit in.
But you're a gamer.
But I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
And Connor?
A gamer that cannot do good in Demon Souls
or
Bloodborne.
Fuck that, man. That's not fun. This is fun, though. The first boss, I keep hearing a bunch of people, they're like, man, I can't get past this fucking first boss. This first boss is kicking my ass. I beat him. Second try. Second try, good. Connor. First try, died just because I had to learn. First of all, I only had a pistol my first try, which was not the optimal weapon to use against that first boss.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Hot tip. Don't go into that first boss with a pistol.
Is the pistol that good that you used it up until that point?
We'll get to it. So I would definitely recommend using either the assault rifle or the shotgun against that first boss. And then as soon as I had one, and also learning all of his mannerisms and stuff, and his patterns, it took some learning. So once I learned them, I fucking whooped his ass. And then the second biome, much harder than the first biome. Much harder than the first biome, Connor. Enemies' attacks are much bigger. They attack more frequently. They are harder to hit. And their attacks do more damage. So I'm like, oh fuck, man. The first world I thought was, challenging, but not crazy. But this second one might be it.
Now, once you reach a new biome, I know it's a roguelike.
Mm-hmm.
When you die,
mm-hmm.
do you start over at that biome, or do you have to start back in the very first
So,
one?
This is actually something that is unique in my limited experience with roguelike games. I've only played Hades and Dead Cells. I've spent most of my time in Hades, but I did put a good chunk of time into Dead Cells. I have Rogue Legacy installed on my Vita, but I just haven't played it yet. So this is something interesting about Returnal that I'm not sure how I feel about quite yet. So usually in roguelike games, you're progressing, you hit a boss, you kill the boss, and you enter a new biome or a new area that is dramatically different from the last one. And if you die, you go all the way back to the beginning, and you have to go through and fight that boss again to progress again. So this game, I fought that boss, I killed that boss. I don't have to fight that boss again to get to the second biome. And to answer your question, yes, if I die in the second biome, I go back to the first.
Okay.
In fact, I went back and explored the entirety of that first biome. That boss isn't there anymore. He's gone. He just doesn't show up anymore.
Oh, you killed him.
Now, in his place, there's on the map, there's big red doors to say, hey, this is a boss room. In his place now is a gold door in which it's just a challenge room where it's like, hey, we're going to throw more enemies at you and harder enemies at you here. But it's not a boss fight. It's just it's your tougher dudes. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of want to fight that boss again.
Yeah.
Now maybe I'll unlock a thing to get it or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Maybe there's story reasons for it.
But yeah, I can, as soon as I start a run, I can go straight to Biome 2. Now that's not a good idea. You don't want to do that. Because it's significantly more challenging, so you definitely want to go through Biome 1 and collect as many upgrades as you can, and you know, get as much health upgrades and stuff as you can in order to stand a real chance in Biome 2. And you want to get a weapon that you like better. And let me break down some of how that works. So this game is like a classic, like randomly generated rooms. Like the rooms have been crafted, but the order in which they appear in is random. And I'm still discovering new environments in the first biome, which is fun. And the way upgrades work in this game is you start at weapon proficiency level, I forget if it's level 0 or level 1, but it's something like that. And as you kill enemies, you increase experience. And there's also like little items you can pick up to increase your weapon proficiency level in that. When you upgrade a weapon proficiency level, that means weapon drops, which weapon drops happen either by opening chests or defeating higher level enemies, like the more brute type enemies, the ones that like will kick your ass and they take more damage and stuff like that. But they're just like
slower.
They're just like upgraded versions of the normal guys you're fighting. So they'll drop weapons. Sometimes when you just clear a room, a weapon will drop. So the idea of your weapon proficiency level upgrading, if you start at level 0, you're going to start with a level 0 weapon. And any weapon drops that happen while you're at level 0 can be level 0. But as soon as you hit level 1, level 0 weapons will no longer drop. Your minimum level will be level 1, and then so on and so forth. So as you upgrade, if you get to like level 4, level 5, you'll only get level 4 or level 5 weapons. I've seen up to level 6 so far. I imagine it gets pretty high. Probably, somewhere in the teens. So there's that whole thing. So, of course, you want to run around and you want to clear out all these rooms so that you can get all this experience, so that you can upgrade this weapon, so that your gun that you're bringing into the next fight is going to be stronger, ideally. There's also a whole bunch of different random weapon mods that drop with each gun. And I really like how they've done this system. So, I'll start with, the first weapon you get, which is a pistol, comes with, I believe it's just like it's not a grenade launcher, but it's like a rocket launcher attachment. That's your alt fire. Oh no, I'm doing this wrong. What's a better example? Okay, I'll do the shotgun, which is I really, really like the shotgun in this game. One of my favorite weapon mod for the shotgun is something called slug shot. Slug shot is every time you fire your weapon, the buckshot pops out like always, like a shotgun does. But when you have slug shot, it's almost like a rifle bullet, like shoots out in the middle and hits exactly on target every time. So I love that, of course, because it negates the need to be up close and personal, with the shotgun, like you would have to be normally. Now, when I first picked up the shotgun, it would say like slug shot 0%, and I wouldn't have access to slug shot. I had to kill enemies and then like a percentage bar would increase, and then it would unlock slug shot, and then I could use slug shot. Once I unlocked slug shot, every time a weapon drops with slug shot, I have it automatically. But it doesn't drop every time. And, the alternate fire will be different on different, weapon drops. So, my shotgun might have a grenade launcher attachment. It might have, the lightning gun. It might have, like a laser beam attachment. Just kind of depends, and it's random. And the higher your weapon proficiency level is, the more mods will be allowed on your shotgun. So, like, I could have slug shot, like I love. And then, I think I've explained this poorly. Your alternate fire is not your weapon mod. It's two different things. So the weapon mod, or the alternate fire will be different, and then the weapon mod will be like a gimmick of the weapon or whatever. For its primary fire. As your weapon proficiency level upgrades, you get more weapon mods. So I could have slug shot and shield breaker, which means if I shoot an enemy with a shield with this weapon, it'll knock out that shield immediately, as opposed to having to knock it out with a melee attack or something. All of that really cool, and that's how you start building your arsenal and start getting stronger and stronger, along with just story-based upgrades. So at first you're just running around, you're dodging, you're jumping around, you're shooting bad guys or whatever, and eventually, and you keep seeing like these like weird like pads on the ground, like these like weird little like circle things that they're just around, and you're like, I wonder what these are. Eventually you get an upgrade to allows to activate those pads, and you discover that those pads are teleporters, so that you can move around the map freely. So if you get to an area and you're like, can't quite get there yet, let me move on. You can quickly teleport back and be like, I'm here. All right, let's clear this room out. That's an example of one of the more permanent upgrades. There's been some other ones that I've come across, and I can see in the level design opportunities for more upgrades to come my way, in which case I can get stronger in this first biome and have better success odds further down the line. Does everything I said make sense so far?
Yeah. There's just a lot of systems going into place.
There's a lot of systems going. It's a lot of systems, which classic roguelike type shit. But there's
have to have that.
Specifically a lot because this is a third-person game in which you're running around like
dashing,
shooting. A lot of movement cameras, free control, all that. So there's a lot going on. On top of that, and this is where it starts feeding into the story of this is where mechanics start feeding into the story of the game, which I'll touch lightly on the story real quick. It's okay so far. It's pretty simple. It's pretty like, okay, we're stuck in this time loop. We don't know why. Every time we die, we return back to our ship. And there's lore reasons as to why. I haven't discovered why, but I know the thing that like happens to take me back, but I don't know why it's happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, without being too specific.
Being too specific or spoilery. Like there's like they're like, hey, this thing happens every time I die, and Celine specifically goes, okay, but why? I don't know. And also they're doing like weird things with time. So like one of the first, this isn't really a spoiler. One of the first things that happens when you crash land, this is before you even have a pistol. You exit your ship, you go out, and right before you get to the first door that like enemies will spawn on the other side of, you come across a dead body. And Celine goes, oh, this is weird. There's a dead body. There's a pistol here. And she picks up the pistol. She looks at the dead body and she goes, fuck, that's me.
Okay.
So you're like, what? So this is a version of herself from the future that has died and has returned. And this is her first exploration. So they're doing some weird time things.
She kind of forgets every single time then? She could have been in
No, she doesn't regret.
For
Connor.
Oh.
There's just weird time things happening.
Okay.
So there's collectibles in this game like audio logs. And these are audio diaries that Celine is recording. But they all take place in the future. It's all like things that haven't happened yet. So Celine comes on and talks about, man, this is my 10th time returning. And this keeps happening. Yada, 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 yada. And you go, I've only returned twice.
Ooh, that does. So it does do things to kind of keep you like, well, what's going on here?
There's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of intrigue. She keeps talking about this character. No spoiler. She keeps talking about this character, the astronaut. I don't know what's happening with this astronaut yet, but I'm intrigued. I can't wait to see what happens with this astronaut. Now, something else that is intriguing is every once in a while when you run, you'll come across a house, like just a house, and to kind of give the idea of what the environment looks like, think like really viney, like swampland. It's very swampy. Lots of blacks, lots of blues in this first area. The second area is like a red desert. The first area is like a black swamp. Lots of vines, a lot of tentacles. So many tentacles. Tentacles everywhere. You kill an enemy, they explode, and there's tentacles, writhing everywhere. As I'm playing along, and I come across this house, and it's like run down, it's dirty, but there's lights on inside. And I go, oh, that's weird. So I go up to the house. There's a front porch. I go up. And I try to go in. Can't go in. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I'm like, all right, well, let me leave and come back and see if I can get something. Next room, I think, or the room after that, like 2 rooms down or something. I kill an enemy and they drop something called like key to old house. And I go, oh, all right, well, that's probably for the house. And I pick up the key, and I run back to the house, and I open up the house, and this is where we get into the kind of the spookies, Connor.
The first-person view comes into play.
Yeah, we enter the house, and that first-person view comes in, and this is PT, let me tell you what. Yeah. It's PT. I'm walking down hallways, there's weird noises happening, I heard, like, someone upstairs was, like, running and then slammed a door, and I was like, what the fuck was that? What the hell?
Can you go upstairs?
You can't go upstairs. There was an upstairs. You kind of just move around. I forget and then, it ended on, like, a vision. You got, like, a vision at the end of that. So it was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? Who is this character, Celine? And when I saw the house, there was a dialogue line that she dropped where she went, that's impossible. This can't be here. So I'm like, is this like a childhood home? What is going on with this house? This house is like the linchpin of my intrigue right here. I'm like, I can't wait to get back to the house. I've only been inside the house once. I've seen the house like 3 or 4 times, but a key hasn't always dropped. So it's kind of like, fuck, man. Like, how do I get in here? Like,
you want the key to drop at some point, but you may not get it.
I think it's because there are areas that are locked off that I haven't been able to explore because of an upgrade that I don't have yet.
A permanent upgrade, or
I hope it's permanent.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had it yet. I've fully explored to the extent of which I can the first biome, and I assume I get this upgrade either in the second biome or the third. But I haven't made it very long in the second biome yet. So I'm just kind of working my way through it. I'll probably play some more tonight too, later tonight, because it's a lot of fun. Housemarque should be very, very proud of just the game they've created here. And it's not surprising, they've always been kings of gameplay. Always. So it's not surprising that, okay, the game plays very well. But they could have fallen short in so many other ways. Presentation. They could have fallen short narratively. Acting-wise. Whoever is playing Celine is doing a really good job. It's a lot of her talking to herself. She's not bouncing off of characters. But every time I pick up a voice diary, whatever they're called, the journals, every time I pick up one of those, I listen. And I key in and I listen to everything she says.
I mean, when a game is able to make it to where you constantly want to know what happens next, it's doing its job.
It's doing its job.
Yeah. It's not always going to give you everything you want to know or need to know right off the bat, because that'd be boring.
Exactly.
It's succeeding.
And by far, this is the best game I've played this year. Like, everything I do feels good. It feels right. I feel in control of every action. And not every time, but most times when I die, I know why I died and how I could have, done it better. Sometimes it's like, alright, don't know how I got my ass kicked there, but I got my ass kicked. So,
yeah.
And then other times it's like, alright, well you threw that enemy at me knowing I was gonna lose. Like, yeah, that's why you threw that enemy at me. And then, I come back and I fucking destroy that enemy. So yeah. And then to touch back on why I fought the first boss with a pistol, I was working towards getting an attachment, unlocked. And it just happened to be like, oh, well, I guess I'll fight the boss. And then that was not a good idea. Don't fight the boss with a pistol.
Yeah, never do that.
They also got an active reload system. A la Gears of War. Which is solid. It's fun. Fun enough, as fun as an active reload can be. The guns aren't working off of magazines. They overheat, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
That's like the best way I can do it.
Aspect 1.
Kind of, but instead of like seeing a bar build, you're seeing your bullets go down. And then when they go down, but like if you just stop shooting for a second, it recharges.
Oh, okay.
It's only if you let it go down all the way that you have to like actively reload it.
You like vent off steam in a way? Or
something
energy?
Like that, yeah.
Future weapons. It works like future
weapons.
Yeah,
it's science fiction. We're being cool and creative with it. So yeah, but they're basically, the weapons are basically overheating. And that brings me to I want to touch on this thing that happened in the last time I streamed, which I had a really good run, but I had 2 detrimental flaws in this run, and that was I very poorly built out my build for that run. In a way of there were these things called parasites, and parasites are like little like creatures that you can pick up. And they will attach to Celine, and they will give Celine a boost, and they will give her like a deficit or a
debuff.
A debuff. Yeah. That's a great word. And this could be a number of things. It could be like, hey, hey, your active reload will make you more powerful for a few seconds. But if you're standing still, your attacks will do 75% less damage. So you have to stay moving, and if you overheat your weapon and then active reload it, it'll be more powerful. But if you stay still and shoot an enemy from a distance, or up close, or you're just not moving at all, you're going to do significantly less damage. So different things like that. My last run that I did before I ended the stream the other night was I had 2 parasites, and these were bad parasites to have. I shouldn't have picked up either of them. I picked them up anyways.
The debuff wasn't worth the buff.
No, it was and both of them were this way, and the debuffs built onto each other in a way that I was fucked from the beginning. So the fact that I even made it as far as I did was impressive. And it's I'm just gonna keep describing systems.
You will.
So there's a system in this game called suit malfunctions. Suit malfunctions are major debuffs that actively hurt you. And to repair the suit malfunctions, you have to complete an action. And it's a random action every time. It could be as simple as kill 10 enemies, or it could be fabricate 3 items. And to fabricate takes a lot. It's resources you're building as you continue through, and then you have to find a fabricator, which are randomly placed throughout the world. You don't know where they're going to show up. And then you have to craft an item, and all of these items are expensive. So it could be fabricate 3 items. Okay, I had a malfunction that was every time you pick up an item, you take damage. You pick up a lot of items in this game, whether you're picking up weapons or you're picking up artifacts, which make you stronger. Artifacts are just buffs without debuffs, but their buffs are not as strong as the parasite buffs.
Okay.
So I'm oh man, I'm picking up artifacts. I'm picking up health items to heal myself. I'm picking up weapons. Every time I pick something up, I take damage. And the only way to get rid of this malfunction was to fabricate 3 items. It took me 30 minutes to get rid of this malfunction.
Yeah, and then when you did it, you kind of already were screwed.
Yeah, and the reason that one was so hard is because the 2 parasites I had, I forget the buffs I had on them. All I remember was the debuffs I had. One of them caused more items in the world to be malignant, which malignant items have a chance of giving you a suit malfunction.
Oh, yeah.
And so
That's not worth it at all.
No. So, and an item could be anything. It could be an artifact, or it could be a health item. So I'm running around panicking because your health doesn't recharge. You have to find,
Yeah.
And they function like first aid kits in the first Halo game, where you just pick them up and it's used automatically.
Yeah.
It's not like a thing you're storing. There are items that are hey, click a button and restore some health, but those are randomly dropped. These quick little health pickups are much more common, and they will be what you use to heal more times than not. So it's I'm running around, I'm taking damage from enemies, I'm taking damage from picking up items, and I'm fuck man, I gotta pick up a health item. So I pick up a health item, but because I have this parasite, all items have a higher chance of malignancy. And if that item was already malignant, the chance of a suit malfunction is even higher. On top of that, I had another parasite, in which case every malfunction I had was stronger.
I don't know why you would have picked either of those up. Did you just not pay attention to the
I wasn't
debuff?
paying attention.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
The buff may have been good when you first saw it. And you
Yeah, I was
asked
oh
if
yeah,
it
sure,
worth
I'll
it.
do that. And then I forgot I had that. And then when I picked up the other one, I was wait, should I have had that? I feel like I probably shouldn't have picked that up. And then I looked and I was ooh, the rest of this run is going to be tough.
Yeah.
And it was. So yeah, the parasites, they can help you out a lot, but they can also, hurt you a lot. And that's where you really have to be smart about how you're building your run. Mm-hmm. And, things you pick up now could, help you in the short run, but they could hurt you detrimentally in the long run. And there are ways to remove parasites, but like everything else, it's random. You'll randomly find a machine that you can pay the game's main currency to take them all off, or you can find a random item, which I've only found once.
Yeah.
In my 10 runs or whatever.
Pretty much, you had no chance of fixing it at that point.
Yeah, if you pick it up, you better be sure that you want it. So yeah. I mean, but like on top of that, it's just really fun to play. Like every time I die, I go, "Oh, okay, man, what a joy! This game is just so much fun."
Kind of like Hades, where you just go back in it.
Yep, it's just that curse of one more run. I'll say this one is less than Hades because how long does a Hades run last? Maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You can spend 30 minutes in the first biome.
Yeah, I'm assuming you can spend a lot more.
Easily.
It looked like a slower paced game than Hades, where Supergiant games you can always kind of go through it really, really fast.
The Hades is built for a quick pick up, put down. Or pick up, spend 3 hours, and then put down.
Whatever you want.
Returnal, you gotta be like, okay, I'm gonna play for at least an hour. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna play for a couple of hours.
But you can quit whenever you want, right? It's not like...
So, this is probably my biggest negative about the game right now. And from what I've read online, it's led to some issues outside of the game as well. Well, in the game as well. If you quit the game, or if you turn your PlayStation 5 all the way off, your run gets reset. So if I'm in biome level 2, I have a level 6 weapon, I've got 3 parasites, I've got 2 items, or 2 quick use items that I really, really like, and my power goes out. In Hades, not a problem.
No. Saves all the time.
I forget how Hades worked. It either dropped you at the beginning of that biome, or it dropped you at the beginning of the last room encounter you had.
It would be the last room encounter.
That's what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
In this game, that run is dead. It's a dead run.
That's a big issue.
That's an issue.
A big
I've got an issue with that. That's not cool.
Especially when we had storms here recently, where power
was going out. Now, granted, the PlayStation 5 has this lovely little feature called rest mode. And when you put your game in rest mode, you can load it back up and jump right in. However, I've seen that this causes that, at least before launch, a bunch of reviewers were saying, hey, game is great. I have this issue where I went into rest mode and I was deep into a run, and these runs are long. They're really long runs. Like, you can spend 30 minutes in the first biome. I've spent 45 minutes plus in a single run. Mm-hmm. And I put my console in rest mode. I came back to it later, and my file I don't think the file was corrupted, but the file was like the game like freaked out and
lost.
Said that run at least was lost, and someone had to start over. That run, not the game entirely. That sucks. Like, that's not cool.
It's an easy workaround when you can just say, I'm going to quit the game, and it saves where
I am. Yeah. Like, and I understand, like, the way this game is built, it's not like Hades, where, like, it's like room, finish the room, and then, like, quick loading screen into the next room. When you jump in, the entire world is loaded. With the power of the PS5, all of the world is loaded. So you're just running around, you're running freely through room. It feels more open world than any other, roguelike game I've ever played. When I jump to Biome 2, I can't go back to Biome 1. So why, when I'm in Biome 2, can you not checkpoint me there? For when I turn my game off.
Yeah, it seems kind of the point of that.
Or,
you go to a new area and it saves.
What if I'm playing and I'm like, you know what, I'm having a good time, but I'm just not feeling it right now. I've made some good progress. Let me, like, hop over, let me play some Spider-Man Remaster or something.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then I'll bounce back to Returnal tomorrow, or maybe a little later. Well, because I jumped into Spider-Man, and the PlayStation 5 doesn't have quick resume like the Xbox does, it closed Returnal, and if I go back to it, it does it. And to be fair, the game warns you at the front. It says, hey, if you quit the game or turn your console off all the way, you will lose your progress. It tells you. It says, this is a mechanic we purposely put into the game. I don't know why. I don't know why you did this.
Yeah. A bug is one thing that can be fixed, but...
This is how you wanted your game to be played. Okay, I guess. Not my favorite choice. No. Would not have done this. Only real flaw I have.
Other than that, the game's been pretty great.
Other than that, the game is solid. Everything you hear online has been true. It's really fun to play. It's challenging. Challenging in the right ways. Every time I die, I go, fuck, that was my fault.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, one more. Do it again.
Yeah.
There is a difficulty curve. There is a skill level that you need to have.
Games journalists stay away.
Games journalists stay away, man.
Yeah.
Games journalists stay away. But, solid fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
Easily right now game of the year. I don't think Village will overtake it.
Hood Outlaws, will that overtake
Probably not. And I don't see a game overtaking this until Ratchet and Clank. So
Good.
who knows? And even though I've said this is the first PS5 game, it doesn't feel like the first next gen game. Does that make sense? Like there's a little bit of a difference here. In which a PS5 game, we're taking advantage of all the PS5 gimmicks, but it's still, like, you could still play this game on a PlayStation 4. There's no reason that this game isn't on a PlayStation 4. Like, it's still playable there. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I fully believe, cannot work on a PlayStation 4.
Oh, you see how the loading screens have worked recently.
Oh, yeah, like, and how integral that is to the moment-to-moment gameplay of that game. There's no way in hell that game doesn't, there's no way in hell that game is not a PS5 only.
That game literally loads entire areas at the flick of a portal.
It loads entire areas, and there's a secondary area loaded and ready to jump to at any point.
Yeah, processing power, baby.
Holy fuck, that's impressive. Did you watch that 16-minute demo?
I did. I didn't see that. I did not.
Oh,
I saw that big, the thing people were going crazy about, that you can just, whole area instantly.
Dude, that game looks great. I cannot wait to play that game. So yeah, that Ratchet and Clank right now is the only thing I see Returnal getting topped by. I mean, I guess like Mass Effect, but like
you're not counting that.
It's a remaster. Like, I mean, they're doing a lot of work on the first game, but it's a remaster. It's not a full new game. Like, if it was more like remake style, like RE2 or Final Fantasy VII remake, then I would consider it. But like, it's mostly just a remaster with a lot of tweaks, and like those tweaks aren't, you shouldn't like discount those tweaks, especially for what they're doing with Mass Effect 1. It looks major, but you know what I'm saying?
It's not the same. Yeah.
It's not the same. So yeah, Returnal, phenomenal game. Everybody should play it if you can.
Well, I'm guessing that's all you played this week.
That's everything major I've played. Reminder, we played Uncharted over at Hype, but I didn't play that, Phil will, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Did I talk? Was it this week or last week that I got the Ratchet and Clank Going Commando Platinum?
That was last week.
That was last week?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, I hopped back into Spider-Man Remastered, plugging away at that, looking to get another Platinum in that. But it'll probably be a while before I, am playing something, not new for a while, because it's Returnal this week, Resident Evil 8 next week, and then Mass Effect the week after that. So, and then there's something else in there. Oh, are we playing Hood and Outlaws? That comes out this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got a PS5.
Oh, was it a PS5 only game? I thought we were going PC.
Oh, we were.
Yeah, I thought we were going PC.
Let's see. Hood Outlaws.
We'll talk about this later. What have you been playing?
Nothing new. Okay. Nothing new at all. I started back Hades again. Because there's endgame content there that I want to take advantage of. There's the whole... there's other aspects of the story that haven't been fully completed yet that I want to see all the way through to the end.
Sure.
I love the character interactions.
Quick pause. Do you want this water bottle?
No, I do.
No? Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, go for it.
First time that I want the second.
I know, it is. Well, you have been talking for a long while.
Listen, the news, we started the what you've been playing second for at 35 minutes flat. We are an hour and 18 now.
That was a long game. A lot of playing time.
There was a lot to explain in it. But yeah. So Returnal, great game. Everybody go play it.
But Hades, fantastic game. The only other two things that I've also been playing and getting better at have been fighting games. Specifically Blaze Blue, which I started a little while back, and Street Fighter V. I played a pretty good amount of time last
Did you talk about Street Fighter V last week?
I did. I said that I got it, and I hadn't really got my hands on anything.
Okay.
I don't even know who I was playing at the time.
Okay.
Finally decided I'll be playing the famous Cammy character for Street Fighter V.
Never heard of this character in my life.
Cammy? Oh,
Yeah,
you've seen her. You've definitely seen her.
Let me Google. Keep talking.
She's very, very fun, but what always nags at the back of my mind is that there's only like 7 characters that I can play with right now out of like the roster of 30, because everything else is locked behind DLC. So I can't really get a scope for all of the characters that I might like or dislike or whatever. But at least I've gotten enough hands-on experience with the game now to say that Cammy's the character I'd be playing, and I will hope to get better in the coming weeks. But other than that, I haven't really been playing anything new. Nothing really special to talk about, because no new games have come out, and I don't have a PS5, so I can't play the newest PS5 games.
Can't play Returnal.
Can't play Returnal.
Now, Connor, it's worth noting, when I was streaming Returnal, at least the first night, Phil came in and co-hosted with me. I offered that to you the second night, but you didn't respond to me, as you often don't.
Yes. I was in my own world.
Now, you and I are both fans of Resident. Well, I'm like a hard fan. You like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Do you want to co-host the Resident Evil 8 launch stream with me?
That is
this next week, which I will be doing Sunday whenever I get off work. Or I'm sorry, Thursday whenever I get off work.
Let's see, because I would possibly like to play that myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, Village.
It is on 4. It is on PS4, so you do have the hardware for it.
After Biohazard. But I will get back to you on that.
We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
That's a no, ladies and gentlemen.
That is not a no. That is a let me get back to you.
Let me tell you, after 10 years of friendship, that's a no.
Let me get back to you on that, Tavin.
That's a no.
Let me get back to you on that. I'll surprise you.
All right, so nothing
really new on my end, unfortunately.
You like Street Fighter 5?
I like Street Fighter 5. It's like I said, just locked behind a bunch of shit.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling in comparison to all these other games you've been playing?
Definitely at the bottom of my list. Well, because it's a completely different fighting game. You know, the differentiations between Street Fighter 5 and like Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear is those games are categorized as anime fighter games. So in those games, you have you can run. You do a lot more with your specials, which is to say like your quarter circles and half circles to do crazy moves.
You got to be as cool. It's about being as cool as possible.
Whereas Street Fighter, you do footsies. Footsies in fighting games is where you kind of like test the waters of I'm going to hit, but I'm not going to go in.
I'm not going to put my combo in on you yet.
Not yet. And then you test, and then you see that opening that your opponent gives you, or that you make for yourself, and then you take advantage of that. Usually, what it is.
A little more fencing to it.
A lot more fencing. Yeah, that's where it's based around. Yeah.
Okay.
It can get into
difference between like a lightsaber fight and like a sword fict.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's a pretty good apt description of that.
I'm pretty quick with it, man. I'm pretty quick-witted.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I'm ignore your.
Just let me have it and move on. What do you want?
It's a different fighting game than I'm used to. I enjoy it. I have fun playing with the guy that I play with, one of my friends, Jordan. So I'll play it more. Looking to get my hands on it to get better at that game, among the many other fighting games I'm trying to get better at.
Are you ever just going to commit at some point and be like, "This is my game, and I'm going to go"?
I mean, I'm probably not. No. I mean, Guilty Gear is that kind of way.
Not really your or mine style to commit to a single game.
No, we never have.
Not really our thing.
A lot of people who play fighting games don't even do that. Like, rare, unless you're playing a lot of tournaments. Usually, most of the time, you're going to be playing. Hey, Street Fighter comes out. That looks like a good fighting game. This new Street Fighter. Hey, the League of Legends fighting game that's going to be coming out. I'll play that. Screw it. That's kind of how a lot of people act towards fighting games.
Good time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for the Two Penny Gamescast. But don't go anywhere, because we are about to jump into After the Hype for Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Phil's going to be stepping in here, giving us his quick opinions about it. I don't imagine it's going to be a long episode. So yeah, you can catch us once again Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time. YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We're out on those major platforms. We're there. Google us, you'll find us. But until you know what, Connor? Oh, and then also there's going to be a breakout episode on Tuesday at 8 a.m. where it's just After the Hype for Uncharted. Connor, will you be listening to this After the Hype?
Well, now that I've technically started a job, I have started a job doing DoorDash, which delivery service, but I'm doing it more full-time now.
Okay.
I drive around a lot.
Oh.
So I was getting used to it this past couple days, so now is the perfect time to watch them, to listen to them. Because I listen to music basically the entire time.
You listen to the last two? The MGS3
no,
and the
which is
Kingdom
why I
Hearts
have
2?
some catching up to do.
Oh,
and I got the time to do it.
You got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah,
I
got the time.
So I expect a report back next week, Connor. I expect it.
All right.
I expect it.
Well,
it's only 2.5 hours of content.
That's considering how much I'll be driving around listening to music.
Most of it is MGS3.
Doesn't matter.
Which, to be fair, the MGS3 we kind of long-winded on that. I'm trying to cut that show down. I want it to be less synopsy, more review.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of hard to do that when you're trying to talk about a game.
Yeah, I mean, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Been out for
Kingdom
years.
Hearts 2 is like 25 to 30 minutes long. That's appropriate.
Yeah,
that's appropriate. MGS3 was way too long. MGS2, I think, was too long. Gears of War was appropriate. Kingdom Hearts 1 was pretty long, too.
Mm-hmm. A lot of complaints for that one, I'm assuming. Mainly.
Yeah. So I want to sit more in the 20-minute range. 20 to 30-minute range for after the hype. If that happens, who knows? We're just going to, freeform it, let that show evolve.
Wing it. Mm-hmm.
I keep trying to add new bits to it. Phil keeps shooting them down, man.
He doesn't want you to do it. He doesn't want you to do it.
He doesn't want to do it. It's fine. It's whatever. Connor. That's it. Episode 41. That's it for you. So we are going to usher you out and bring Phil back in. So until next week, Connor, say goodbye to the people.
See ya.
Say hello to the people, Phil.
Nah. Hey, what's up, guys?
And welcome back to After the Hype, our review show for Have You Ever Played? Acronym
No, I have
to
not.
Hype. Our show that we do at twitch.tv/2pennygames every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time to, about 9, 10 o'clock, except for those weeks.
Except for this last week.
Where we finished at what did we finish? 7?
6:30.
6:30, 7 o'clock? Yeah. Phil, have you ever played Uncharted?
I have now.
You have now. We this last week played Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. For those who don't know,
That's the first one.
That is the first one. The show is basically one of us has played a game that we enjoy to some degree, and the other one has not. So Gamer 1 shows Gamer 2 that game, and we play the whole thing on stream. We do it all day until we're done.
Or no, it's Gamer 2 shows Gamer 1 because I'm Gamer 1.
Okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
I'm Gamer 1.
We've done this for the first 3 Metal Gear Solid games. We've done this for the first 2 Kingdom Hearts, and we did it for Gears of War 1. And
this
now,
is the 7th game we've done.
It's the 7th game we've done. It's crazy how we just blaze right through them, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we did Uncharted 1. It was my game to show Phil's first game. Some quick facts
Baby's first Uncharted.
about Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. Originally came out November 19th, 2007. Sold 2.6 million copies on their PlayStation 3.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games. And released to solid critical rate. We pulled it at 88 on Metacritic.
I mean, it's 2007.
2007. Probably a little high, but 2007. 7.9 user review, which makes a little more sense.
Makes more sense, yeah.
The game was re-released in the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection for PS4, which is the version we played. The collection sold over 5 million copies, and we played it.
That's double!
I guess we technically played it on the PS5 through backwards compatibility. But
yeah, but it doesn't upscale.
It doesn't do anything for it.
Yeah, just upscale. It doesn't upscale at all.
Phil.
Uh-huh.
What did you think about Uncharted 1?
Uncharted 1 was Uncharted 1. I mean, it was fine. So the story didn't super engage me. It was I like Drake. I didn't really like any of the other characters. And even Drake was okay, sure.
Okay.
I'm controlling this man.
Not okay. Okay, fair enough.
Shooting's not very satisfying.
No.
There's
And can you believe it was way worse than the original?
There's 3 good guns in the game.
Well, yeah, because there's a halfway point where the guns get better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Uncharted 1, typically with hype, it's games we super enjoy, or were a big nostalgic kick for childhood versions of us.
Yes.
Or held some kind of special place in our heart. Uncharted 1
in the circle graph of your gamer heart, how much percentage is Uncharted?
Well, Uncharted as a franchise gets a pretty solid percentage.
Right.
Uncharted 1 pretty minimal. As a fan of the series, I like Uncharted 1. It's fine. It's not the one I'm reaching for to go play. I'm gonna go play 2 or 4 before I go play Uncharted 1. And even I'll go play Lost Legacy. 3, catch me on whatever day. I've got personal gripes with 3. Other people don't. A lot of people love Uncharted 3. For good reason. That's a solid game too. But I've got personal issues with it that it's not my favorite. Yeah, Uncharted 1, I played it. I got into Uncharted when Uncharted 2 came out. I went back, played the first one through GameFly. Remember GameFly? Phil?
Dude, GameFly?
Yeah.
No, it's just a streaming service.
Is it really?
Yeah.
They don't do the because even
I don't think so.
Netflix does the discs still.
I think GameFly still does, but GameFly is pretty much like they do streaming games.
How do they do that? Like Stadia style?
I think so.
Interesting. Anyways, yeah, I got it. I got the first game through GameFly, played it, and then pretty much sent it back immediately. The second game is where I fall in love with the franchise. Like I remember getting it through GameFly. And my dad would bug me because he's like, I'm paying whatever it was, $15 a month or whatever, for you to like jump through a bunch of games. And I kept Uncharted 2 for like I kept Uncharted 2 for like 2 months because I just kept playing it and replaying it. And it was my first game I ever got a platinum trophy in.
The only games that I remember playing through GameFly were bad games. I remember
there were plenty of those too.
I played Dragon Ball Z Sagas, which is very well known as one of the worst Dragon Ball games ever made. I played, and there's also this like Game Boy Advance like Lilo and Stitch game.
I played through GameFly. I think I played the game Wet. Did you ever play Wet?
No, I don't even think I've ever heard that game.
And then I played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which was okay. And then there was another game that came out after that one that wasn't as good. And that's when I was like, you know what? This whole GameFly thing, I'm cool. Don't need it.
Yeah, I remember me and my brother got GameFly games. I mean, I only remember getting those 2 games. I don't remember anything else.
Beanox, man! Shout out to Beanox. They're supporting Call of Duty now, just like Toys for Bob.
Just like fucking. I'm so sad that they killed.
So sad. We talked about that earlier on the podcast. If you listen to the Two Penny Games,
so bummed about
Anyways,
that.
But we're talking about.
We're not talking about those games, Tavin. We're talking about Uncharted Drake's Fortune.
Drake's Fortune. Damn it. So
with the underground caves and the monkey Spaniards and
and the forests
and then
the monkey people. Oh, yeah, that's what you're referencing with the monkey Spaniards. Yeah.
The Spaniards. They never left.
Mm-hmm. So some notable things about Uncharted when it came out.
There's a curse.
It had a heavy use of the 6-axis, which we didn't experience because we played the Drake's Fortune or the Drake's Collection version. Which, thank God, you didn't have to deal with that, because, oh boy. You know how much you used grenades in your playthrough? You wouldn't have used it once with the 6-axis.
I also didn't even really use them that often.
You used them like a fair... Like, you used them enough. Them enough. What else happened? It was one of the first games where if you went swimming in water, you actually got wet.
Wow, you made a real big point to be like, hey, Phil, you should roll in that water.
It is the only notable thing about Uncharted 1.
and you're like, oh, no, you're wet. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're wet.
And then it had like...
That was really impressive for 2007, man.
Yeah.
People were losing their minds. Your screen's got a little... Your screen's got a little squidgy.
Idiots.
Yeah. We didn't know any better. So yeah, things notable about Uncharted. One,
easy puzzles.
Super easy puzzles. So yeah, Uncharted, third-person cover-based action adventure game. You know, with some light puzzle elements, and then a lot of like climbing shit, and then you shoot a bunch of bad guys in the face.
Yep. A lot of I mean, they were pretty good about checkpoints, but there's a lot of like bullshit deaths.
Yeah,
a lot of bullshit. Like, and also it doesn't do a great job of like telling you where you're supposed to go. Well, I mean, no, I'm saying that wrong. It gives you like an idea of where you're supposed to go, but it doesn't give you very good directions as far as like climbing goes.
How to get there?
Like how to get there exactly. It doesn't give you a very clear path.
Fair enough.
Like there were multiple times when I was like exploring, trying to get to the next area, and I would jump to try to catch something, and I would just fall to my death.
Just fall to your death because it wasn't a ledge you thought.
Exactly.
I'll say the series gets better about that, but it never gets perfect about that. Okay. Except for 4 is pretty good. So yeah, Uncharted 1 saw. I mean, so you've mentioned it before. Not the best shooting.
No.
In the games. Let's
Very
do a deep dive into gameplay.
There was only one gun that I like felt was like satisfying, and that was I'll say 2. There was that one pistol that like
So the second pistol you get, the 9.2
right,
FS
yeah.
or
That one that
the
has
fuck
like
called.
it sounds good, and it felt like it actually like hit whenever I would hit something with it. Not as powerful as obviously like the Deagle or the 45.
Yeah.
But the and the second one would be the M4. Like because
The M4 is a pretty solid gun too.
it doesn't feel very good, but like it fucks people up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. I don't know. I wish it like gave me some kind of vibration in the controller when I fired the gun, or like gave me something, some kind of like feeling of me shooting a fucking man in the face.
The impact isn't there.
Yeah.
There's no impact.
There's no
in the
impact.
shots.
Yeah.
And you know what? I agree with you. I think Uncharted 1 gets better as it goes on, because as it starts giving you those better weapons, and as it starts giving you more powerful weapons, it really starts to like figure out what it's trying to do as a game.
I'm not saying this is what I want them to do, but a great example of impact for me when it comes to like shooting is good example is in Gears of War when you're using the sniper rifle and you blow a fucker's head off with the sniper rifle.
Okay.
Like it's like, wow, I totally just took that guy's head off.
Okay. Yeah. Uncharted never does that.
I'm not expecting that to happen.
don't
I
do
just
that.
want.
No.
I'm not expecting Drake to have a sniper and be like,
Yeah.
all right, Sully, here we go. I totally killed that guy, Sully.
Yeah.
I got him.
Sully, did you see that?
Dude, wasn't that awesome?
Oh, I saw a kid. So you didn't care for Sully too much either, or
He wasn't in the game.
he's not in that game that much? No, he's not.
He's in the beginning and then he's in the end.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's her name? Photojournalism
Elena.
bitch is in it way more.
Elena. Yeah, she's like your little sidekick for the.
She's also not a character.
You don't think so?
No.
No? She's a little plucky.
I felt
little headstrong.
I felt no like connection to anybody except Drake, and Drake bringing very very little, if
Interesting.
any.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Very little, if any. Fascinating. Why is that, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. It was just nothing really. I felt like he would just talk. He would obviously the reason he goes off and says all this information, like, and telling Elena all about like Drake, is because he's like nerding out because he's secretly like a geology dork or like an archaeology dork.
He's a historian.
Exactly. And he'll like nerd out about that, but it's like, okay, Drake, you don't need to keep going into all this information that other people don't really need to know. And if they do know, if anything, it's only going to hurt you, because then they're going to be like, oh, I want this now. Because like that's what I kept on expecting. That's why I kept on thinking Elena was going to betray him in the entire game,
Which was a weird thing for you to expect.
I don't know. I just don't. I just don't trust women, Tavin.
See, they tried to do it with Sully. They're like, "Oh man, Sully got you." Oh, just kidding. He was on your side.
But here's the thing: I didn't believe that Sully would betray me the entire time, because I know about that. I know there are other games.
There are other games. You know, Sully is in them.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's in all of them.
Yeah, he is.
He's in all of them.
Well, all except Golden Abyss, but we're not gonna play that game.
Isn't that like a PSP game?
It is a Vita, but yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright, so shooting not the best. Characters didn't really grab you. I hope they will later as we continue.
I really hope people don't take out of context me saying, I don't trust women! Obviously, it's what's it called? Hyperbole.
Yeah.
Like,
so characters didn't really grab you. I hope they will in the future, whenever we get back to Uncharted. Story, kind of meh. Pretty bare bones story.
Yeah.
Not a lot to it. Our antagonists. Our antagonists. How did we feel about our antagonists?
Shit.
Can you name me one name of any of the There's three. Can you give me...
There's three?
There's three. Can you give me one?
I'm trying to think who the third one is. I remember two.
Well, so which ones do you remember?
So I remember the British guy, or was he British?
No, but he might have been like a British man trying to do an American accent.
He was like the white hair guy, like really
the older guy.
For some reason I remember him having a British accent, but he did not have a British accent.
Do you remember his name?
Fuck.
This is the one. It's funny that you remember this character, because this is the character everybody says they forget entirely.
I was gonna say, like, I don't remember his name.
Yeah,
I remember Sully owed him money.
Gabriel Roman.
Gabriel Roman?
Pretty sure.
Fucker has 2 first names.
His last name's definitely Roman. Like 80% sure his first name's Gabriel.
That
Okay.
doesn't sound right to me.
And then who's the second one here? I'll Google it.
Navarro.
Navarro, indeed. You're forgetting, my friend, fan favorite Eddie Raja.
Oh my god. Does that count? Does he count?
Yeah, man.
He's working for Roman, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Navarro
so
is
is
too,
Navarro until
but
he's
Navarro
not.
betrays him.
Isn't that
Eddie
his name?
doesn't.
Isn't that his name? Yeah, Gabriel Roman Uncharted.
Okay.
Well, that's because Eddie dies too quickly, man. He gets eaten alive by the
Monkey Men.
By the Monkey Men.
Now the Spaniards.
That is a thing. Yeah, his name was Gabriel Roman. I was right. There we go. Look at me.
It just didn't sound right to me. Maybe it's because it's fucking so unmemorable.
That was another thing about Uncharted when it first came out, is that for a long stretch of the game, you're just shooting a bunch of dudes. And you're doing your occasional vehicle section, which sucked, but we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that reveal happens and that twist happens, that there's something that there is a supernatural element to this game. That was a thing that like everybody was like, "What the fuck? This is an entirely different game now." It's not a different game.
It didn't do that for me at all.
It didn't do that. You were just kind of like, "Okay."
I was like, "Okay, I'm fighting these guys now."
There's Monkey Men now.
They got claws.
Back in the day, people were like, "Whoa, that's cool!"
Yeah,
like they weren't like, "Oh my god," but they were like, "Oh wow, this is really neat."
I kind of went from like, okay, I'm shooting these guys. Oh, okay, now these guys are crawling around and I'm shooting these guys.
I think the popular turn of phrase for that twist is everyone says, "I went from using all the assault rifles to only using shotguns."
Oh, okay.
That
makes sense.
So that like
They keep getting
mechanical
up on your
change.
face.
Yeah, so that mechanical change.
There was
like,
that
meant something for them.
there was that one fucking cursed Spaniard guy that like killed me like 3 times, and I was like, "Fucking this guy!" Like because he would just one shot me as soon as I came around that corner.
Sure. Oh yes. It
happened like 3 times.
When
it was like towards the end.
Yeah, we're in more the
like chapter
the
20
basey thing where they start throwing the monkey men and the regular dudes at you at the same
Where
time.
you're like, right after you like turn on all the power.
Yeah. I remember it fondly. So the monkey men just kind of there for you.
Yeah, I was like, sure, I'm fighting these guys now.
Okay, interesting. So let's double back to those glorious vehicle sections. We got one instance of a car chase, and you were on a turret, little on rails shooting turret thing.
And I wish there was more of that.
Not the worst section.
I was like, okay, cool. I assume there's going to be like maybe 2 of these, maybe 3. This is the only one.
It's the only one. Yeah. Honestly, I agree with you. Could have used another one.
I mean,
another
one
one would
more.
have been solid. Just
like,
one more.
Different vehicle.
Put one at the end.
Yeah.
Let that be the...
Let it be like a Metal Gear thing where
Yeah.
like, you're getting chased at the end.
100%. I agree with you. It would probably make a better ending than that final, whatever you want to call that final encounter.
On the ship.
And then next...
Terrible final boss fight, by the way.
So bad. Everyone agrees no one likes it. Nobody likes it. Terrible. And then moving on...
Oh, hey, can we talk about how shitty the fucking melee combat in this game is?
Oh, you don't like the
It's
combos?
so bad.
You don't like
It's
the
so
combos?
bad.
It's not great.
It's so bad.
It's stiff. It's like
I
stiff
really don't like
and
it.
kind of inaccurate at the same
I
time.
really, really do not like the melee combat in this game.
That is the one element mechanically that gets the biggest overhaul.
And it gets better?
in the other games.
Okay.
It gets simpler and better, cleaner. It's just everything gets cleaner. You know, like everything's kind of like messy in this first one. Everything's gonna get cleaner as we go on.
It's like if I'm gonna be up in a motherfucker's face, I don't want to have to. Oh, I hit this button. Wait, hit this button. Wait, hit this button.
Yeah, there's none of that.
If I'm up in a motherfucker's face, I want to be able to mash a button and hit him a bunch of times. Instead of when I want to be more precise when I'm far away and using a gun. That's the time to be precise.
Fair enough.
To be up front and up close and personal fighting a guy, that's when you
Get some button mashing going.
That's when you do that.
You're gonna enjoy the next one much more.
Okay. Sorry, I had a big double back there.
Yeah, continuing with the vehicle sections, then we have the infamous jet ski
Which
sections,
I didn't mind that much.
but they show up 3 times.
Yeah.
And they get worse every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they start you off with that grenade launcher, which
I mean, sure, it's fine.
Sure, fine. And then they do another one again with the grenade launcher.
And I was like, okay.
And then they do a third one, but you have to go upriver.
And with a pistol.
With a pistol.
Fucking Donkey Kong's throwing explosive barrels at you.
Yes, sir. Not the best time in the world.
No. I mean,
Not fun.
I did it. Didn't I do it one try? 2 tries?
Maybe 2. Maybe 2. I don't remember. It
wasn't hard.
Probably 2. No, it's not.
I remember you being like, "Oh, I wonder how he's gonna do this."
Well, it was just 2007 was just such a different time, man. Such a different time. So yeah, jet ski definitely big flop. I don't think anybody likes it.
Brought back delightful memories from a game that I still don't remember what the title was, because remember that whole I went on a tangent about how there was that like Sea-Doo racing game. That I remember on PlayStation 2.
Yeah. And then I think the only like real big thing to talk about is that final encounter. So nothing like a video game, throwing some random mechanic that they haven't ever taught you to do at the last minute.
Mm-hmm. It was just bad.
It's bad. So it's basically like, what is it? 3 encounters of like
I think it's 4.
3 or 4 of Navarro shooting at you, and if he hits you, it's pretty much a one-hit kill.
It is.
It's like almost one-hit kills, and then he like for bop bop bop, and then there's a 4th bop, and that 4th bop is a one-hit kill regardless. And then it's just a matter of just biding your time and shooting all the henchmen and making him run away. And
there was a couple times where
like
it was just a bad roll, and I just didn't have enough ammo.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. Well, there was. You did have ammo. You just didn't roll to the because there was like a piece of cover with ammo on the left, but you just never looked that way because you have that tendency, like we talked about in Metal Gear, to focus in.
Well, it's because I'm looking at what the main threat is, and I need to try to shoot him.
Yeah,
and he's invulnerable.
He is. Yeah. Until the very end, and then it's a quick time event.
Bad.
Not good. No, not defending it. Not great.
If anything, make it like I can shoot him and like kind of stun him, and then let those take cover.
Yeah. And then have his goons come in to like,
rather than it being like a set pattern that I have to like. Okay, he's shooting. Oh, he did his big shot. Time to shoot his minions.
Literally, the Ocelot fight in Metal Gear Solid 3, done 3-4 years earlier, is a better example of how to do this fight. It's the same concept, but just do it better. Yeah. So that's mostly Uncharted 1. Do we have anything? I mean, the treasure is the thing that's making the monkey men. The treasure is cursed and it's evil. And,
it's like a mummy or something.
Yeah, and it's a mummy or something. Yeah, and then you're like, all right. So, anything else you really got?
Return the slab or suffer my curse. Shout out to Courage the Cat the Dog.
Yeah. So Uncharted 1, a game. A game.
Yep.
Not offensive, but not like joyous.
Yeah, I didn't have a great time.
But
I had a time.
It's a time. It's a time. So we like to do ratings here. Where would you put as the first time gamer? Where would you put
this is a solid 5.
Ooh, hard 5.
I mean, just, middle of the road.
Middle of the road. Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike it. I didn't really like it. I was like, this is what it is.
I'm not mad at that.
Middle of the road.
I think I'm a 6. 6'5", if I speak to fandom.
You were not 6'5". You're not that tall, Tavin. Come on.
But yeah, Uncharted 1 definitely like the. It's rough, man. It's rough around the edges, and Naughty Dog. They get better. They get there.
They get so much better.
They get so much better, dude. Oh my god. Well, they came from so much better too. But
yeah.
But this was it's a nice little experiment, change of pace from your Crash Bandicoots and your Jack and Daxters, and it goes on to really.
How would you know, Tavin? You've never played either of those franchises.
Stay tuned. All right.
What are we playing this week, Tavin?
That's a great question, Phil. It is your turn to show me a game.
Tavin,
what am I playing this week?
We are going to play Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Sunshine. Okay.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Phil, I've never played Super Mario Sunshine.
No, I know.
Outside of the opening level. I played the opening level, but...
No, I have you? Because I stated what the opening level was, and you said, what?
I don't remember. I don't remember names of levels. Who remembers names of levels?
Me?
All right. Fair enough. So why Sunshine first?
What do you mean?
Because of that like main trilogy being 64 Sunshine Galaxy, people reach to Sunshine last.
Well, I didn't play 64 Galaxy as a child. I played Sunshine as a child.
You played Sunshine as a child? There you go. All right.
I've played both games now.
Yeah. I've played most of Galaxy. I love Galaxy. Oh, no, I mean, I played Galaxy as a kid, and then when they did that recent re-release, which I assume is the version we'll be playing, unless you're just going to bust a GameCube out of somewhere.
I mean, I own it on GameCube.
Do you have a GameCube?
No.
Okay, well...
No.
No, we're gonna play it on Switch. I don't even know how to record things through AV cables anyway. So
Nah, it's fine.
and I don't feel like learning. So
Super Mario Sunshine.
that's what we're gonna do. Twitch.tv/2pennygames. If you're listening to the breakout episode on Tuesday,
We're live right now.
We're live probably right now. If you're listening to 2 Penny Gamescast and you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Appreciate you. You can get that show Monday 8 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah, make sure you upload the fucking podcast on time this week, Ted.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that this week. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Phil. As soon as you leave, I'm gonna do both headline. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do it all tonight.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna do it all tonight.
Oh yeah. What if you don't? What do I get to do to you if you don't?
I mean, it's not. I mean, if you're gonna make it a threat, I'm just gonna do it. Like,
Just saying.
I'm just gonna do it. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe
No
I
one
won't.
said
I
anything
don't know.
about a threat. No
I
one said
feel
anything
like-
about a threat,
I feel like
Tavin.
I probably.
Do you feel threatened?
I hate
No
you.
one said anything about a threat, Tavin.
All right, so we're gonna do Super Mario Sunshine.
You feel in control?
How many sessions do you think it's gonna take us?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
No, there's no way it's more than 2.
Oh, I don't think it'll take more than 2 either. I'm okay at platformers. I can do platformers.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. So until then, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for seeing what's up. And then Phil,
Yeah.
say goodbye to the people for me.